They told you that reality is solid, that time is linear, and that your body is the limit of your existence. But deep inside, you've always felt something more, a subtle knowing that you are not confined to this dense plane, that life moves through you like a dream you half remember. Every now and then, when silence deepens and thought dissolves, you touch it, the edge of something infinite. That moment when time slows down, when intuition whispers louder than logic, and you feel connected to everything. That is not imagination, it is remembrance. For centuries, humanity has lived under a spell, the hypnosis of the third dimension, a realm of cause and effect, of effort and reward, of separation and struggle. Here, we are taught to chase what already exists instead of realizing that creation begins from within. Every system, political, economic, and cultural, depends on keeping you trapped in that cycle. They tell you to work harder, to wait longer, to be patient for the future that never arrives. But reality was never meant to be endured. It was meant to be sculpted by awareness. The truth is, you are not merely living in a world. The world lives through your perception. What you call reality is an energetic hologram constantly responding to the frequency of your consciousness. Every thought sends a vibration into the quantum field, shaping the probabilities that later appear as events. You have done this unconsciously since birth. Every emotion, every expectation, every belief, all of them feed into the architecture of your experience. But because you were trained to doubt your inner senses, you dismissed the most powerful instrument you possess, your mind's ability to modulate reality. Those who understood this long ago became the architects of civilizations. They learned that time and matter bend before coherent intention. They formed schools of mystery, hidden behind symbols and rituals, not to conceal the truth, but to protect it from misuse. Because this knowledge, in the wrong hands, becomes manipulation, control, the ability to shape perception itself. And perception is the foundation of every empire. Look around. Humanity's collective perception is fractured. Endless noise, distraction, and fear maintain the illusion that the physical world is all that exists. But the veil is thinning. More people are beginning to sense the field beneath the form, the moments of synchronicity that defy logic, the dreams that later unfold in waking life. The intuition that warns you or guides you before reason can explain why. These are glimpses of your multidimensional nature. You have always been more than the story you tell yourself. Higher dimensions are not distant places. They are states of frequency, existing here and now, interwoven with this moment like invisible layers of light. To access them, you do not travel outward, you tune inward. The key is vibration. Every thought, every feeling is a frequency signature. When your inner field vibrates with coherence, you align with realities that match that frequency. That is why love feels expansive and fear feels dense. They are not just emotions. They are coordinates in the map of existence. Science now touches the edges of this understanding. Quantum physics has shown that particles behave differently when observed, as if consciousness participates in shaping the physical world. Time itself may not flow but unfold, every possibility existing simultaneously, awaiting observation to crystallize it. What mystics have called divine creation, science begins to describe as quantum interference. The language differs, but the essence is the same. Consciousness is the hidden dimension of reality. When you realize this, life transforms. You stop fighting the current and begin to navigate it. The struggles that once consumed you lose their weight because you understand their purpose. They were signals, inviting you to shift your frequency. Every obstacle was a mirror reflecting your own unconscious pattern. Every limitation a disguised lesson in creative mastery. Reality does not punish, it educates. But awakening is not comfort, it is dismantling. The mind, addicted to certainty, resists the fluidity of higher awareness. It wants control. It wants rules. It wants to know what comes next. But consciousness flows like light, unbounded, unowned, and uncontrollable. When you step into higher dimensional awareness, you surrender the illusion of control for the truth of co-creation. You begin to see that what you call others are extensions of the same field of intelligence, expressing through infinite forms. That is why compassion is not moral, it's mechanical. When you harm another, you distort your own frequency. When you forgive, you release resistance, and energy flows again. Every act of kindness synchronizes your vibration with the deeper order of the universe. This is why ancient traditions spoke of karma and grace. They were describing energetic feedback, not divine punishment. Still, the third dimension clings to you through habit. The body remembers fear. The mind rehearses scarcity. Society rewards distraction. But awareness is the antidote. To wake up is to pause, to breathe, to feel the stillness behind all movement. In that silence, the higher dimensions reveal themselves, not as visions or fantasies, but as layers of meaning within the ordinary. The light on the water, the rhythm of breath, the subtle intelligence in a moment of intuition. That is the universe speaking in its native tongue. As your perception refines, time begins to behave differently. You may notice that certain events seem to arrange themselves around your intent, that opportunities appear as if magnetized by thought. This is not coincidence, it is coherence. When you hold a clear intention without resistance, reality reorganizes itself around that vibration. The ancient phrase, "ask and it is given," was never metaphorical. It described a literal principle of resonance. And yet, with great awareness comes responsibility. You begin to see how every complaint, every fear, every word spoken in anger shapes the field, just as powerfully as love does. The choice becomes sacred. What vibration will you feed into creation? Most people create unconsciously, reacting to appearances instead of generating new ones. But the awakened being knows that perception is the seed, not the fruit. Your thoughts are not private, they echo through the field. Collective consciousness shapes the global experience. When enough individuals align in clarity, even probability bends. History itself has been rewritten by those who understood this principle. Prophets, inventors, visionaries. They did not predict the future, they created it. The shift now underway is not about escaping the physical world, but integrating it. The higher and lower dimensions are not enemies but reflections. Spirit descending into matter, and matter ascending back into awareness, the eternal dance of creation. You are that dance. You are the meeting point of heaven and earth, consciousness and form. And the more you embody this truth, the more reality mirrors it back. The old world is collapsing not because it failed, but because its frequency completed its cycle. New structures, new systems, new ways of being are emerging through those who live consciously. It is no longer about hierarchy but harmony, not power over but power through. The true revolution is invisible, a shift of perception from separation to unity. When you live from this higher awareness, life stops feeling random, synchronicities multiply. You begin to realize that the universe is not testing you, it is conversing with you. Every event, every delay, every encounter carries encoded meaning. The mind may call it coincidence, but the heart recognizes it as choreography. You are being guided, not by something outside of you, but by the intelligence that breathes through you. This is the fourth dimensional bridge, the realm where thoughts mold matter through emotion. Here, time becomes pliable. You sense outcomes before they occur, not because you're predicting the future, but because you are resonating with it. Energy precedes form, and when you stabilize in this awareness, miracles begin to look ordinary. But the journey doesn't end there. Beyond the fourth lies the fifth dimension, a plane of consciousness where love is the governing force and separation dissolves completely. Here, creation flows effortlessly through joy, not effort. You no longer manifest to fill a void, because you remember that you are the source. The fifth dimension is not a destination. It is a realization that you were never separate from the field you were trying to master. You are the field itself, exploring its infinite expressions through human experience. To live multidimensionally means to remain aware of all these layers at once: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, without getting lost in any. It means recognizing that fear belongs to the third dimension, desire to the fourth, and unity to the fifth. You move among them daily, shifting frequencies through your thoughts and emotions. You have done it countless times without realizing it. Every moment of deep gratitude, every act of compassion, every instant of awe, these were moments when you were already living beyond the third dimension unknowingly. The reason you don't remember is conditioning. The world is designed to distract. Every advertisement, every headline, every algorithm pulls your attention outward. Because awareness is power, and a distracted mind is a harvested mind. The systems built upon your energy thrive when you forget who you are. But once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Awareness is the great rebellion. To awaken fully is not to withdraw from the world, but to transform how you engage with it. Work still happens, relationships still evolve, challenges still arise, but you approach them from a higher vantage point. You begin to sense the invisible architecture beneath circumstances. Instead of reacting, you respond. Instead of chasing, you align. Instead of forcing outcomes, you magnetize them. This is mastery, not control, but harmony. There comes a moment when you look back at your past and realize it was never random. Every loss, every heartbreak, every detour was a coded initiation. Life has been sculpting you into a vessel capable of holding higher light. You were never being punished, you were being prepared. The pain was compression, the necessary pressure for awakening latent strength. Now, humanity stands at a threshold. The collective vibration is rising, and the systems that operated through fear can no longer sustain themselves. You can feel it in the tension between the old and the new, in the acceleration of time, in the awakening of millions who question everything they once accepted blindly. The dimensional shift is not coming, it is happening. Those who align with coherence will experience increasing clarity, intuition, and synchronicity. Those who cling to chaos will feel the dissonance more intensely. Yet even this is grace, for suffering pushes consciousness to evolve. The dark is not the enemy, it is the catalyst. Every polarity exists to teach integration. Every shadow reveals the light it once hid. So how do you live as a multidimensional being in a three-dimensional world? You begin with awareness. You slow down. You breathe consciously. You observe your thoughts without judgment. You cultivate gratitude not as a ritual but as a frequency. Gratitude collapses the illusion of lack because it tells the universe, I already have, therefore I am aligned with more. You nourish your body with light, your mind with stillness, your heart with presence. You remember that consciousness, not effort, is your greatest currency. Over time, you will notice reality becoming more fluid. You will meet people by seeming accident who hold the exact key you need. You will think of something and watch it appear. You will see patterns forming across days and weeks, guiding you toward evolution. And in those moments you'll smile, because you'll know that it's not luck, it's resonance. The field responds to your frequency like an echo returning to its source. This is the forgotten art of living consciously. The ancients encoded it in symbols: the eye of Horus, the flower of life, the spiral of creation. All reminders that the microcosm and macrocosm mirror each other. The universe is fractal, and you are the fractal aware of itself. To explore yourself is to explore creation. The more you embody this understanding, the more peace arises. You stop chasing enlightenment because you realize you were never unenlightened, only unaware. Enlightenment is not an event but a perspective. It is the ability to look at chaos and see design, to walk through shadow and still recognize the light behind it, to exist fully human yet fully divine at once. There will still be moments of forgetting, times when the density pulls you back into the noise, but even that serves a purpose. The dance of forgetting and remembering polishes awareness like waves shaping stone. Each return deepens understanding. Each fall teaches compassion. Evolution is not a straight line upward. It is a spiral ascending through experience. And so, as you listen to these words, remember, you are not learning something new. You are remembering what you already know. You have lived countless lifetimes exploring these realms. The reason this truth resonates is because it is yours. Beneath the mind's noise, you have always been awake. The invitation now is to live from that knowing consciously. Not tomorrow, not when the world is ready, but now. Every breath is a doorway. Every moment, a portal. When you choose awareness, the universe reorganizes itself around your new vibration. You begin to live not in reaction to the world, but as a co-creator of it. This is what it means to live in higher dimensions unknowingly. You have done it all along, you are doing it now. And the more you remember, the more the illusion of limitation dissolves. You are light learning to see itself through form. You are eternity experiencing time. You are the silence that became sound and forgot, only to remember again. The higher dimensions are not above you. They are within you, waiting for recognition. And once seen, they change everything. Because to know that you are consciousness, infinite, creative, eternal, is to awaken from the dream of separation into the reality of unity. And from that moment on, the world is no longer something that happens to you. It becomes something that happens through you. The dreamer has remembered they are the dream, and reality, at last, becomes what it was always meant to be, an expression of divine imagination unfolding itself through love.